Welcome back into the Rounding Third podcast. I'm Nick. We have Harrison and Sean again with us tonight. How we doing, boys?
What's up, fellas?
Doing well. We do have some free agent signing stuff to get to and some arbitration deals that had happened this week. We do have some more blurred picture trivia, which people are liking to seem to like. So we'll get into some of that and have another category for us tonight to try since it was a semi-slow news week. But before we get into that, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can also subscribe on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Leading off, free agent signings and offseason move update. So the Chicago Cubs sign Imanaga to 4 years, $53 million with a club option to extend it to 5 years, $80 million total. So he would get like a $27 million raise if he gets extended to that fifth year. Does this make the Cubs a legit contender just by signing him in the Central?
Can I ask a question of you two? 4 years, $53 million. We're talking a little over $13 million per season. How is there not like 50 offers on the table at that price? Like, how did it come down to really just the Cubs and everybody else had kind of fallen out? Like, what's the story here?
Go ahead, Sean.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. I was smiling because it's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I guess to answer Nick's question first, I think this is more add this into what the Cubs have done the last couple of years, and you look at their roster now, and I like the Cubs. Yeah. I was a year ahead. If you guys remember last year before the season started, I had the Cubs a little bit higher than most. I thought they were going to challenge for the division, and they gave a little bit of a kind of a push there at the end. But I like what they're doing in Chicago.
Yeah.
I like some of the veterans that they have, some of the consistent talent they have. I was all in on Cody Bellinger being comeback player of the year. I thought he was going to have a good year, and he did. I like what the Cubs are doing. It's still, a competitive division. I'm not going to sit there and say any one of these teams is going to run away with the NL Central, but I don't know. I like the move for Chicago. I think it's for the money that they're paying, $13 million a year. I think you sleep at night if you're a Cubs fan and you're in the Cubs organization. That was well worth it, I think. Yep. We'll see how it goes, but I think it's a good signing for them. I really do.
The Cubs lose Marcus Stroman, and he just kind of fills that void. So it doesn't really raise the bar for the Cubs, but it doesn't set them back either. So,
And Imanaga is coming at what seems like such a big discount that even if he's just okay and he's a number 3 or number 4 starter at best, you're getting what you paid for. If he's any better than that, I think they win this deal because at $13 million a year, your front end guys are getting 25, 27, 28 million bucks a year. You're paying this guy $13 million. I mean, anything you get more than probably number 3 starter status is upside. And I think it's a great move for the Cubs because to Sean's point, you can sleep at night. You're not going to get hurt on this contract. You're likely going to get more than you expect. And the Cubs continue to build a solid roster that isn't full of a bunch of bad contracts and question marks.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you break it down, and if you get $1 million a win, that's 13 wins a year for him. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, if you break it down to $1 million a win, and let's say he wins 15, 16, 17 games, which rookie year, maybe not. But let's just say, optimistically thinking, he wins 15 games. That's a bargain.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Right? I mean, that's $800,000 a win. That's worth it.
Discount. I think it's a great deal for the Cubs. And I agree with you, Sean. I love what they're doing. And, I think we all thought last year they were making progress and they're on their way. And I think they showed at the end of the season that they had a little more to give. And I think this just helps them because Stroman down the stretch last year, second half of the year, was MIA.
Yeah.
So really, you only had Stroman for half a year effectively for the Cubs last year. Anyways, Imanaga you get for a full year, assuming he stays healthy and pitches well. You actually probably come out of this deal better off than you were last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So that kind of just segues into Stroman signing with the Yankees for 2 years, $37 million there. To give the Yankees some much needed help in their starting rotation. You don't know what you're going to get with Carlos Rodon coming back. You have Marcus Stroman. We'll get into Blake Snell later. But there's possibly more help coming for the Yankees. You have Schmidt that looks like he's going to slide into that starting role for them. So the Yankees are going to be all right. Yeah. I think they're going to be better than all right. And Stroman's going to give them what they need, which is depth in the starting rotation. Or more depth than they had previously. I shouldn't say depth because there's still not much depth there. There's a lot of question marks. But he helped solidify that rotation, I should say.
Yeah, I think the Yankees need quality pitching. Rodon and Cortez are question marks because of health. You got Cole, who's a horse, and you add Stroman to the mix, and he only has to be a 3 or 4 starter for you. And the thing I didn't realize about Stroman either is he's a native New Yorker, so this is kind of like a homecoming for him. He's going back to New York. And if you get Marcus Stroman in the first half last year, you're gonna be it's gonna be great. You get Marcus Stroman second half last year, it's gonna be a disaster. I don't think he's necessarily one or the other. He's probably somewhere in the middle. But I mean, they're paying him $18 million a year. You got Imanaga for $13.5 million a year. Just shows you a comparison of the value. But I think Stroman's a good addition for the Yankees. He's 2 years, not a lot of risk, and if he pitches like you think he can out of the 3 or 4 spot, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a guy they needed.
Yep.
Right?
Big time.
He was a guy they needed.
Yep. Another free agent signing, fellow type 1 diabetic Jordan Hicks signs with the San Francisco Giants.
The Sugar Daddies.
The Sugar Daddies, that's right.
Sugar Daddies.
Signs with the San Francisco Giants for 4 years, $44 million. This dude throws gas out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
So he's kind of bounced around the last couple of years. Started his career in St. Louis, went to Toronto there for a little bit. Now with San Fran. But yeah, I still don't know what to really think about the Giants as a whole going into next year. You signed the Korean guy, blanking on his name right now.
Young Ho Lee.
Yes, thank you. You don't really know what you're going to get with him. Logan Webb is an absolute ace on the mound.
Yep.
But after that, we kind of brought it up last week with that Robbie Ray deal. They're kind of banking on getting to the middle of the season and then making a push. Can the Giants hang around until the All-Star break?
Yeah,
that's the question.
And we've asked the same question about the Rangers. The Rangers have, DeGrom and Scherzer, who both won't be back until the second half of the year. You got to get to that point. The Rangers are in a stronger spot than the Giants. But I think the Giants team is better than they were last year. They've made some moves to improve themselves. I think they'll be okay. They're going to hang around. They're going to get some help in the second half. Are they going to win that division? Absolutely not. But are they going to be able to linger to the end in a battle for a wild card spot? Yeah, probably. But it's going to be tough to get one because you got a few teams ahead of them that are going to be fighting with them too. That it's they're probably not quite there, but they're going to be close.
Yeah. I think the National League is going to be all year long competitive around those National League, those wild card spots, right? Like I think there's going to be a lot of teams vying for those spots, and you're going to see that battle start in like May.
Yep.
Which is early to look at like standings, but I think that's where it's going to be because I think there's going to be a lot of teams around there. San Francisco being one of them. I'm going to make it known now. What is it? January 15th. This will be a Giants podcast. Like last year, it was a Rangers podcast for me. This will be a Giants podcast. This is going to be my team. I am all in on the Giants this year. Mostly because they're such big rivals of the Dodgers, and I just can't stand the Dodgers.
We should all just pick an NL West team.
Just the better the Giants are, the more pissed off Dodgers fans are, and let me drink those tears. But I all joking aside, though, I like what they've done. It never hurts to add a guy like Hicks into the bullpen. Guys like that don't hurt.
No.
They only help you.
You have him and Duvall. Duvall on the back end. That
true. Yeah.
Whatever that arm angle is that he comes out of throwing 103.
That's right.
That's right.
Those guys only help you, right? Yeah, those guys don't hurt you. So you keep adding guys like that. You just keep adding good, talented guys to the roster.
Mm-hmm.
You never. That's why you play the games. You never know what happens. And the more talent you have there. So I'm all in on the Giants. I like the move on Hicks. That's what we started on with the Giants, and I'm in.
Yeah, as long as they don't leapfrog my D-backs, I'm okay with it. So, but
so that's right. You have Arizona. I have San Francisco. Harrison, who do you have in the West? Colorado.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with Colorado, baby. That's me. Let's see. My choices left are the Rockies and the Padres. I guess I'm out, guys. Enjoy, because I'm not riding with either of those.
The best best player for the Rockies is Bud Black.
Yeah, literally. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, you guys can take the NL West. I'll stick in the American League. But man, oh man. I mean, and I'm with you, Sean. I've loved the Giants for a while. I know we've had a lot of back and forth about them and what they've done. That's a team that I think everybody's kind of sleeping on. They see the success of the D-backs, the stacked roster of the Dodgers, and the Giants are like just also out there. But they're not just also out there. That's a pretty solid team. And Chapman is still rumored to be potentially landing in San Francisco. I don't think the Giants are done yet. That's an organization that's got money to spend. They're not afraid to make signings.
And they're
not done yet.
Right? Think about all the trying they had last year. Right? I mean, we thought we had Carlos Correa. He was there. And then he wasn't there. Done. Like they tried, and then Judge, and then like they've tried so hard.
Yeah,
literally so hard to
Judge was calling Hal Steinbrenner to say, "Sorry, I'm going to San Francisco," and Hal goes, "No, we're going to meet," and then he signs in New York.
They've tried so hard.
They had the same 10-year, $700 million deal on the table for Shohei, and he took the Dodgers. I mean, the Giants have been the bridesmaid to every single one of these big free agents, and they're not afraid to spend, and they're not done. So, I mean, I think this team's going to get better, and the D-backs have gotten better, the Dodgers have certainly gotten better, the Giants have gotten better. That NL West is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, at 10:05 at night. Love it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch if you can stay up.
Yeah.
And then you got the NL Central, where you got the Brewers and the Cubs and the Reds, and then the Pirates kind of on the edge, and the Cardinals, if they can put their stuff back, like that could be another competitive division. Then you got the Braves, the Phillies. We don't know what the Mets are going to be just yet, what the Marlins are going to be just yet. But like you literally, like you can probably count on not even one hand the teams in the National League that honestly don't have a shot. Like you literally have 10 or 11 teams that have a shot at a wild card in this wild card race right now.
I mean, that was the best race going down the stretch last year, was that wild card race. That race was insane. It was
crazy.
Awesome.
Which is why I was saying, I quite honestly think in May, if you're a fan of, if you're a Marlins fan, if you're a Giants fan, if you're a Brewers fan, like you're looking at the standings in May. And you're just like, we can't drop games now. It's like it's May, but it's
going to be that tight,
right?
Yeah, like it's going to be that tight.
It is. I think
the rubber game of a 3-game set in May is going to matter now.
It's going to matter, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's not just like we got to get this game over with to get on the plane. It's like, no, we got to win this game before we get out of town.
Awesome.
Yeah, crazy. All right, there was a lot of arbitration deals signed this week, so I'll kind of rattle down that list. But first, we'll start with the big one. Juan Soto, 1 year, $31 million, which sets a record by an extreme amount, I believe.
No, 1 million because Ohtani signed. Ohtani signed at $30 million last year. So, and that was like the sub headline to it, breaking the previous record set by Shohei Ohtani, because Juan Soto clearly wants that to be known.
Whatever. So Soto signs 1 year, $31 million. Devin Williams for the Brewers signs $7 million. This one's interesting to me because
that's disgusting to pay that guy $7 million. It's just wrong,
dude. His changeup, his changeup is worth $7 million each time he throws it.
Yeah, he is so good.
It's crazy. Rooting for this guy to come back. We were just talking about it before we came on, but John Means for the Orioles, 1 year, 3.3. It kind of seems like after he threw his no-hitter, he got hurt, had Tommy John, just hasn't been back. So it would be great to get this guy back in the Orioles rotation, make an impact, and help that team get back to the playoffs and hopefully get past the first round this time.
Yeah, he's been gone for what seems like forever.
Yeah. I know we looked it up a couple months ago to see like what that timetable was, but it seems like he's been out for a while. But hopefully back this year and makes an impact. So we got Logan Gilbert.
Let me just ask you guys,
go ahead.
As you guys, Devin Williams with the $7 million. I was looking up real quick. If you could say X player you could have X player for $7 million for 1 year who has had 3 straight years of under a 1.1 whip coming out of the bullpen. Would you take it? Because I would take that.
Yes,
That's
I
insane.
would take that. Sign me up.
That's insane.
Sign me up.
This guy just comes out of the pen and no one gets on base.
He's untouchable. He's
Like
just
that's
untouchable.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He reminds me a lot of like Keith Fulk, because Fulk had that changeup. You knew it was coming, and you still couldn't
You
hit
just
it.
couldn't hit it.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Hoffman and Folk, guys that literally pitch backwards and just absolutely mess with you.
Yeah, that's
Dude, I mean, the 3 years in a row, he's under 1.1 for whip.
yeah, it's nuts.
And like to me, that's a better like for relievers. Like I don't care about ERA. Like ERA is skewed because you don't pitch that much. Like it can be ballooned. Like how much guys get on base? How many guys get on base when you're on the mound? Like to me, that matters more than ERA. And guys just don't get on base.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. And his stuff is just, it's nasty. There's nothing ever gets squared up, and he just doesn't let runners on.
$7 million.
Yeah,
I'd do
that's
it.
the deal of the century.
Yeah.
Whew.
A couple more here. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners, 1 year, $4 million. Shane Bieber for the Guardians, 1 year, $13 million. Max Fried, same deal, 1 year, $13 million. Dylan
And you wonder why the
Cease,
Braves are so good.
I know.
You got Strider and Fried playing off of rookie contracts and arbitration deals.
And you get
That's
Sale coming in, still missing bats.
Yeah.
Still missing bats.
And Charlie Morton, who's 207.
That's right.
a lot of rumors still kind of flying around this guy, but Dylan Cease signs for 1 year, $8 million.
He's going to the Dodgers.
He's traded. Yeah, he's getting traded.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
he's getting traded.
The rumors are the Dodgers are in on him.
They're in on everybody. But the sad part is, like, just like the Red Sox are in on everybody, the Dodgers are in on everybody and in on everybody but getting them. Like, that's the difference.
Right.
The Red Sox are in on everybody and getting nobody. The Dodgers are in on everybody and getting them.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, if Dylan Cease goes there, come on now.
I mean, it's lights out.
Yeah.
It's just even more of a Giants podcast. If he goes to LA, we are all three of us.
If Dylan Cease goes to LA, I might ride with the Rockies and Padres just to root against the
Dodgers. We'll even give you both teams to pull for. We won't even
Actually, it'd be best if
take the rest.
Could I just collapse both teams into one and see what happens?
We
don't really need a team in San Diego and Colorado, do we?
No. Just move them to Vegas instead of the A's.
Yeah, actually, if San Diego has no TV deal and they don't play, does anybody know?
Does it really? Right. If it free falls, do you hear it?
God, man. The Mets and Pete Alonso. So 1 year, $20.5 million there. A lot of rumors. Deal. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of rumors were around him at the beginning of the offseason. Sounds like he's going to stay though. So
yeah,
that's fine.
He's a hard guy to trade. I mean, he's so big for that team. I can't imagine letting him go, especially when he's still so affordable. You're not even paying the guy yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably what makes it so hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're the Mets and he's making this large, massive ticket and you can get a whole lot back for him, well, it's like, okay, let's talk about it. But because of the affordability, it's just like, well, we can't. I mean, we have a guy that's the center of our team, center of our lineup, center of our identity, making such little money. Like, we can't do that.
Yeah, I think it was a knee-jerk reaction, right? Because the Mets spend and spend and spend and spend. And then they're like, well, we got to tear it all down and start over. So I think it was just initially it was such a knee-jerk reaction that's like, all right, everyone out, and then we'll build the pieces back in. And then they're like, wait, this is Pete Alonso. Like, what are we thinking about? No, we're not going to give him away. Yeah,
I mean, I think Cohen was being the emotional fan when he said that. Then the baseball people went, Steve, settle down. Like, we're not going to let this guy go just yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. And the last thing I have leading off here tonight is before these free agents signings started this week, I think it was like last Monday or last Tuesday, they released a stat that the Dodgers had spent $1.2 billion in the offseason. The rest of the league combined, $1.23 billion. Combined. The other 29 teams combined, spent what the Dodgers have spent. I know we've talked about it. It's kind of like kicking a dead horse here, but does something need to change in the CBA about deferring money? Like, let's just put a cap on it. Do we need to change the CBA about deferring this amount of money?
Yeah, the deferring money, yes. I mean, and we did. We talked about it last week. I know you guys, before I jumped back on, you guys had talked about it too. But like, the deferring money is the problem, because the stat says they've spent 1.3 billion, right? That was the number?
Yeah, something like that. 1.2, but whatever. Yeah, same thing.
Okay, 1.2 billion. 80% of Shohei's is deferred. So did they really spend that money? I mean, they agreed to the money.
Yeah, they signed contracts worth that
right?
much.
They agreed to the money, but they're not paying that money. But not every team can do that. You have like 2% of the league has the ability to do that.
Right.
Well,
so yeah, I do. I mean, and especially if the league is going to talk about how they want parity, right? They don't want the same 3 teams vying for a championship every year. We don't want the same 6 teams in the postseason every year. We want parity. Well, you can't have parity if you're allowing these loopholes that let a team like the Dodgers, like the Yankees, like the Red Sox, like the Cubs, that are so goddamn valuable in itself, to start deferring 80% of contracts 10 years down the road. Like, most teams can't do that.
No. Right. If they could, they'd just go bankrupt when it came time to pay.
They would just do it. Right.
Like,
they couldn't do it.
Let me get geeky on you guys here for a minute and show you where this is really screwed up. So
I like when you get all Rain Man on us, Harrison.
I know. Sean, you love it. Grab your Apple Jacks, buckle in here, buddy. So, all right. So you've got a $700 million contract over 10 years. So simple math says 10 years, 700, that's $70 million a year. That's what that should count towards the competitive balance tax. However, deferred money gets discounted against the competitive balance tax. So the Dodgers are only going to be charged $46 million a year for the 10 years Shohei's in uniform. So not only do they get to defer the contract down the road, but they also don't get the competitive balance tax doesn't reflect what they've actually signed. That, to me, you want to defer the money to the year 3000. I don't care, but you got to get charged for the competitive balance tax in the years they're playing. You can't pretend like the money so far down the road doesn't count anymore. So that is effectively $24 million a year in competitive balance tax charges they don't have, which means they're going to pay a lower fine. They're going to have the ability to basically spend that money now because it's not going to count against them. And that, to me, is the worst loophole. You want to defer the money forever? I don't care. Pay Shohei Ohtani's, grandkids. I don't care. But for the 10 years he's in contract or he's on that team, it should be a $70 million per year charge against the competitive balance tax, because that's what he's actually making. When you pay it to him, I don't care. But that, to me, is the worst issue here. It's how the competitive balance tax treats deferred money.
Amen, brother. Preach
it.
That to me is screwed up. Like, that is such a goofy rule.
But the Dodgers were smart to do it,
and they were. Like, that's the thing. Like, the Dodgers exposed the issues in the CBA, and they're sitting back going, "What? You told us we could do it." Right. And you know what? They're right. But the CBA has to be fixed. You have to actually charge these teams for the contracts they sign.
Yeah. I just hate that argument by Dodgers fans. Like, that's what they go to. Oh, well, your team could have done it. They were, the Dodgers were just smarter than you. Okay, cool.
You know what? The Kansas City Royals absolutely could have signed that contract, and in 10 years they would have had to sell the team. But yes, for 10 years, they could have had Shohei for $2 million a year. Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. But,
at the end of the day, you still have to have the money to make the payment. Like,
which is why I was saying there's only a handful of teams that can actually do the contract.
Now, you could argue with Shohei it's a little bit different, because there's going to be an insane amount of marketing money that comes from this, sponsorships and deals and stuff overseas and more merch. You're going to sell a lot of stuff because of him being there. So you're probably going to make a lot of that money over time back. But still, there's only a handful of teams, to your point, Sean and Nick, that could even fathom being able to pay a player that much money. There are teams that can't spend $70 million a year on an entire roster, let alone a single player.
Right.
Like, they're not playing the same game. And the CBA is allowing this to happen. And Major League Baseball should look themselves in the mirror and be like, wow, we missed that. And the owners should be like, wow, we missed that.
Yeah. I think
Well,
something will be
I
done
would-
for sure.
Yeah, and I would think that. Oh, all right, let's go at 15 years. I would think that the owners are going to be the ones to push that forward,
They have to.
right? Because most of the owners, like we were just saying, can't do what the Dodgers just did. So you would think when the CBA is up and it's time to start renegotiating, the owners themselves are going to go, wait a second, let's close that. Like, we have to close that, because if we don't close that on our side, like, forget the Players Association, forget the players not liking it, forget the union not liking it. Like, if we don't close that, we are going to be out on most of these big name guys now coming on the market, because if you continue to allow that, you're giving the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Cardinals, to an extent, like these large revenue, like, you're giving them the advantage over the Tampas, the Pittsburghs, the Cincinnatis, the San Diegos.
And
Like,
my
we already
Rockies,
talk about
damn
how
it,
it's
my Rockies.
your Rockies. That's right.
Yeah.
But we talk about how there's already a disadvantage on that side. We're giving them an extra disadvantage by allowing them to expand these contracts out and giving them discounts on the competitive balance checks. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bananas.
So I'm with you. I mean, something's going to stop. Something's going to stop it, and I think it's going to be the owners. I don't think it's going to be the players.
Yeah, and we talked about it on the show, Nick and I, like, the owner of the Colorado Rockies, his net worth is $700 million. Like, his net worth is the contract that
poor
Shohei
people.
signed.
That's
I know,
poor people
right?
shit.
It's poor people
Poor
problems.
people shit.
But, like, there's no way the Rockies can. He can't put his entire life on the line to sign Shohei
No.
Ohtani. Like, you
No.
just can't. And you got the Dodgers. The Dodgers' primary owner is worth almost $3 billion, and he's got a bunch of other guys in his back pocket. Like, to them,
Primary owner, not
yeah,
the,
right,
not the
exactly.
owner,
Primary. He's the
owner.
lead guy, right? He's not the
And
only
then we
guy.
get a whole bunch of Billy Goats behind
Right.
us.
These
A whole
guys could
bunch
throw
of Billy
700.
Goats behind us.
right. These guys could throw $700 million in a fireplace, and they're still going to get up tomorrow and be fine. Like,
It's crazy.
it's just
It's
a
nuts.
different world. Different world.
It's nuts.
And the rules are letting this happen.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it will close. Something will change where it's like only like maybe you can only defer 2 contracts per roster or something
or
of
percentage.
that
It'll be a
nature. Or
some percentage of your
you
payroll.
can you can defer a percentage, and I think that would
Right.
be the right way to go. Right? Like,
Yeah.
not just, you can only defer 2 contracts. Whatever. You want to defer every contract, fine. But you can defer 15% of a contract.
Right.
Whatever the number comes out to be, but it's a percentage. You can't defer 80% of a contract. This guy's
It's
playing in LA for $2 million a year, or whatever the hell it turns out to be. That's crazy.
Well, and boys, let's set our alarms for 11 years from now, because Bobby Bonilla Day ain't got nothing on Shohei Ohtani Day.
No
Ain't
joke.
got nothing on Shohei Ohtani Day.
Absolutely crazy. All right. We're going to move into our blurred picture trivia now.
Oh boy, Jesus.
And here we
I'm about to get
go.
smoked.
All right.
No, he's gonna make him harder on us, Sean. It's gonna be.
I'm gonna get smoked, dude.
Our
I hate
first
this.
one here.
I'm gonna get smoked.
We'll be good.
He's already mad about it.
All right. Played from 1989 to 2004 with the Cardinals, Cubs, Phillies, Orioles, Dodgers, Florida, Texas, Mets, Rockies, Yankees, Expos, Mets.
It would have
Okay.
short
So
list
2
off where he
stints
didn't
with the
play.
Mets.
Holy cow.
Yep. 2 stints with the Mets. 253 career home runs. Primarily third base is where I remember him, but did play first base and catcher as well. Who is this?
So, Harrison, I have a guess, but if you know, you go first.
No, go for it.
Is it Todd Zeal?
It is Todd Zeal.
Ah, that a
let's
boy.
go. Todd Zeal. Let's go. I only
There
know
you
because
go.
2 stints
Here's
with
Sean.
the Mets.
Boo-hoo, I'm
I
gonna
knew
get
2
smoked, and he
stints-
crushes the first
2
one.
stints with the Mets, but 2 stints with the Mets has helped.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that helped.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh,
remember.
I got balloons. Thank you. I got balloons.
Yep. So
Sick.
it's good.
Wonderful.
Good. All right. Here's the
That might
next
be
one.
That might. I'm done. I'm out, guys.
This is a tough one. I'll be shocked if you guys get this one. Played from 2006 2008 and then 2010 with the Twins, the Red Sox, and Oakland. Had a 5.18 career ERA
Nick
and a
Arnold.
relief pitcher. No, my ERA would have been way higher.
Yeah.
And he's known for his unique-ish name. Who is this?
Like unique-ish name, nickname or name?
It was his name.
And who was it again? It was Boston, Minnesota, and who else?
Oakland. Relief pitcher. Bigger guy. Who?
Is it El Guapo?
No, it's not El Guapo. That's a good guess.
Not Rich Garces. Yeah.
Not Rich Garces.
Short career though.
Very short career.
Yeah, it was a short career.
Wow.
But you'll know him by the name for sure when it comes up. Any more guesses?
I'm trying to
I don't know,
think.
but my over is well on the way to hit. I don't know.
This is Boof Bonzer.
Oh my goodness. I remember Boof
Bonzer, he had a stint with the Sox?
Yeah,
Very
probably for
short.
like a week.
I think he had a cup of coffee with the Sox.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Boof Bonzer.
I mean,
Yep.
that is a unique. I wouldn't say unique-ish. I'd say that's a unique.
Definitely unique.
Well,
name. Not unique-ish. But
Yeah,
I hear
I
you.
feel like you threw us off on that one, Nick. Those are bad clues. We would have gotten otherwise.
all right, you can put the show together next week then.
Sean just spit all over
Yeah,
himself.
yo, that's on you, Nick. Those are
Yeah.
bad clues, dude.
Yeah. Jeez.
Wow. Thanks. All right, next
Oh,
one.
man.
Played from 2014 2021 with the Giants, Mets, Toronto, and Miami. One-time All-Star, one-time Gold Glove, primarily second base, and played a little bit of third base. Who is this?
Giants, Mets, Toronto.
Mostly known for his time in San Francisco, I would say. Very good second baseman for them during that time.
Oh, he had a funny stance too, didn't he?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
So he was second base with Brandon Crawford at shortstop.
Yes.
Like when they won all those World Series?
14,
14,
I think it was-
16.
Yeah,
Was he on the back end of that?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, it was 2014 to 2021.
Yeah, it's not Nafi Perez, right?
Nope.
No.
Flip
I'm going
back
to
to
hate myself.
I know.
I'm
flip
going
back
to
to
hate
info real
myself
quick.
when you tell me this name.
14 to 21, Giants, Mets, Toronto, Miami.
And most of the time, the bulk of his 8 years was with the Giants. He kind of floated around to those last 3 teams towards the last couple of years of his career.
Oh man, it wasn't Polanco.
No.
Oh,
This is Joe Panic.
Oh,
Joe Panic.
yep.
Joe Panic.
Jesus. You're right,
Yeah.
dude. You didn't take it easy on us. Holy moly.
No, I could picture him, but I couldn't for the life of me think of his name.
But he was good for them during that
He
stretch.
was really good for them.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
All right. Next one.
Boy,
Played from 2005 to 2020 with Seattle, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Texas. One-time All-Star. Bats left and throws left, so I'll give you that. And a right fielder. Who is this?
David Murphy.
Nope. I'll give you guys another clue. He's Korean born.
Oh,
Oh, Sin
Soo
Choo
Choo.
Choo.
Yes, Shin-Soo Choo. Yep. Shin-Soo Choo. I remember him mostly from his time in Texas there.
I do too, but the Korean born was a big one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
yes,
You're
thank
welcome.
you for that.
You're welcome. Was that clue all right?
That was a good clue. Yeah, I mean,
that
if-
was a good
if
clue.
you- If you could have lined him up a little better on Boof Bonzer, we were all set.
All right. Played from 2003 and then 2005 to 2017 with Milwaukee, Seattle, Arizona, and Tampa. One-time All-Star, second base, and left field. Primarily second base for this guy, and mostly Milwaukee that I remember him with. Who is this?
Ricky Weeks.
Oh my god.
It is Ricky
Nice
Weeks.
call.
Nice
I was
job.
going to say you had the hair coming out the
Yep,
back, didn't
I
you?
can- I
Yes,
can
he
picture-
did,
yeah.
Ricky Weeks.
The
Yeah,
picture came up.
good
I'm like,
call.
oh my goodness! He was fun to watch. He had a lot of
Good
flair.
call.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks. Nice job.
Yep.
All right. Played from 1998 2006 with Arizona, Phillies, Tampa, Yankees, and then Tampa again. Rookie of the Year finalist. So he was in the top 3. 115 career home runs, bats left, throws left, primarily a first baseman. This one's going to be tough, I believe. I don't know if you guys will come up, but I'll be surprised if you do. Who is this?
Go back again.
Yeah.
Because he started, where did you say, Arizona?
Arizona, yeah.
I know. This is, I know who this is. This is, fuck, man. I mean, this is my moment. This is my moment.
It's not Aubrey
I'm
Huff,
having
is it?
my moment.
Not
no,
Aubrey
it's not
Huff.
Aubrey Huff. It's Justin Bohr.
No, not Justin
Oh,
Bohr.
Wow, that
who
was a
is it?
good one,
Who is
though.
it?
It's a
Woo.
good guess.
It's
Justin
two-
Bohr started
two-
in Miami.
2 stints with Tampa. That's right. Yeah. And he started in Arizona.
Yes. Rookie of the Year finalist there, too.
In what year? 2006?
Yep. 98 to
98.
2000.
Ended in 06. So
Yeah.
he started in 98 also. Justin Bohr was after that. All right. So 98.
Yeah, say not. This one's going to bother me.
Yep. This one is Travis Lee.
Oh, man.
Fuck me.
Oh.
Travis Lee.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at the picture like I feel like this one's going to hurt when I get the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Travis
Justin
Lee.
Bohr did start in Miami. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in that whole John Carlos Stanton,
Yeah,
Christian
yeah,
Yelich.
that's
He was in
right,
that
yeah,
whole.
That was a good pull,
Yeah.
though, Sean. That was a name I hadn't heard in a long time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
He hit daddy hacks too. Justin Bohr hit
For
daddy hacks.
sure.
When he put the bat on the ball, it was coming through your window. Like
Yeah.
he hit bombs.
Yeah.
Well, and Travis Lee was an understated ball player.
Yeah, he
Really
was.
good defensively. Had some
Well,
pop.
I mean, rookie of the year for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or finalist at least.
All right, next one. Played from 2010 to 2019 with the Angels, Arizona, Seattle, and Baltimore. 2-time All-Star, 1-time Silver Slugger, 47 home runs in 2016. First base and DH. I remember this guy mostly from his last few years in Baltimore. Who is this?
Oh, it's is that Trumbo?
It is Mark Trumbo.
Nice call.
Nice job, Mark Trumbo. Yep.
You remember him in Baltimore, not LA? Not
Well,
not Angels?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it was
I
an Oriole
do.
too.
I saw him in Durham here because he was he got sent down to AAA, so he was playing for the Norwich Tides at the time, or Norfolk Tides, sorry,
Norfolk, yeah.
against the Durham Bulls. So I actually got to see him play live, and the guy's a monster. He's huge.
Because
Crazy.
anytime I hear Mark Trumbo, I think Angels uniform, not necessarily
Yeah.
Orioles. But
I mean,
fair.
that's fair. I remember him there too.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it was an Oriole too.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we
The old
just
guy.
saw
The old guys think of him as an Oriole.
I know.
I think
Well,
I would
whoa,
think of
whoa,
him as an
the
Oriole.
old
You would think of
guys.
him as an Angel.
Jeez.
Yes,
That's
Jesus.
Wow, I wouldn't slam a door that hard, Sean.
Damn it.
Well, I think it's because we saw him so many times a year against
Well,
the
and,
Red
yeah.
Sox, too,
and he used
you
to
know?
terrorize the Red Sox too.
But he was on some good Angel teams.
He was.
Yeah,
He was.
Like
he was-
he was like, I think of him in the middle of some good Angel teams.
Yep. Yeah, he was. And
All right.
I would agree. Go ahead,
Next one. Played from 1998 to 2007, 2009 to 2014 with Florida, Boston, the Reds, back to Boston, Toronto, Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Detroit. 1-time All-Star, and he's a shortstop. Who is this?
I'm going off a guess. The only Florida to Boston shortstop I know is Alex Esconzales. That's the only one
It's
I know.
Gonzo.
Is that right?
Yep.
Alex
That's-
Gonzalez.
That was my guess too.
Alex Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the
Hanley-
only Florida to Boston shortstop I know.
Yep.
Hanley Ramirez.
No, but he was Boston to Florida, then back to Boston.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, yeah, he never played necessarily for the Red Sox, but you're right.
Oh,
'Cause he-
okay,
That's a
fair.
technicality.
But I think of, but he's right though. Actually,
He is
Nick's right. He's right. I was wrong. Nick was right. But I think of Hanley as like a Boston guy, then a Florida guy, then
Right.
back to Boston.
Yeah,
You're
Hanley was
right.
like he was like
Do
the
you know what I
Marcelo
mean?
Mayer of where we talked about Hanley for
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
And then he
so
was
Nick's
gone.
right though.
Yeah,
Nick's
because
right.
he went in that Lowell Beckett deal, right? I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah. No, you're
All right.
right. You're right.
All right, this one I didn't put a team name on because I think you can get him from the clues.
Wow.
Played from 2013 to 2016, 2-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, 1-time Cy Young finalist, starting pitcher. This guy would have been probably one of the best pitchers in the game for a long time.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. in peace.
R.I.P. in peace, Jose Fernandez. Yeah.
This dude. I still remember the day and D. Gordon hitting that home run and just losing in the dugout.
Against the Mets, too. I was watching that game live. I cried. I cried.
Dude, that ball that D. Gordon hit was mashed, too. Like, it wasn't a wall scraper, dude.
That was a Big Daddy home run.
From him,
and it's a shame, too, now with the dominant young power pitchers we now have coming up. Like, he would be – Jose Fernandez would still be on that list now in 2024.
Like in his prime right now.
Like he would, it would be Jose Fernandez, strikeout leader, Garrett Cole, strikeout leader, Blake Snell, like all these guys that just power through guys. Like Jose Fernandez would still be top of that list.
I still see that clip.
Like it's such a shame, dude.
Yeah,
he'd be 32 years old right now. He would absolutely be in his prime.
Yeah. I see the clip all the time that Tulowitzki hits that line drive back. Like, it's clearly a base hit, and he just sticks his glove up and catches it, and Tulo goes, "Did you just catch that?" And he's like, "No."
He's like, they're smiling and laughing, yeah.
It's crazy. But, I mean.
Dude, I remember when that came across, I called Nick. I was like, is somebody messing with me? Like, did you just see that too? Like, Jose Fernandez, that was so awful. So awful.
I was playing men's league baseball and it went off in the dugout. Everyone's phone just like blew up. And I was like, dang,
so
man.
Awful.
Crazy. All right, here we go. Played from 2008 to 2018 with the Twins, Washington, the Giants, Tampa, and Seattle. 185 career stolen bases, 281 career average, bats left, throws left. I remember him mostly from his time with Minnesota. He's a center fielder. Who is this?
Go ahead.
Denard Span.
It is Denard Span. Nice job.
I saw Sean's face light up. I'm like, oh, I know this one, but
I heard it. I got to tell you, I was so confident. I better have been right, because if I was wrong, I was just gonna hang up. I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
Bye, guys. See ya.
I was so confident that was Denard Span.
That's funny. All right. I believe this is the last one I have for this week. Played from 1992 to 2006 with the Yankees, the Angels, Giants, and Boston. 6-time Gold Glove winner, first baseman. Who is this?
JT Snow.
It is JT Snow.
Oh, great call, JT
Love
Snow.
JT Snow.
Great call.
It's funny, when we were on the Travis Lee one, in my back of my mind, I'm like, it's not JT Snow. It's same path, but different teams.
Yeah. JT Snow. That was a good one, dude.
I used to love JT Snow. Oh.
Yeah. Those are so much fun to go through. I love putting them together because I'm just like, so I was at dinner with my wife the other day and I go, Karen, give me a year between 2000 and now. She's like, she goes, 2013. I go, give me a random baseball team. She's like, Giants. And I'm like, boom. So I put in like 2013 Giants and I just pick a name. So it was, it was awesome.
Couldn't be any more random than that.
Right. So it was really cool. So
that was good. I gotta tell you, I started off hot. I thought when I got Todd Zeal or whatever, but how do you pronounce his name? Zeal.
Yeah,
Zeal. You're
right. Yeah.
I thought I was like, this is going to be be good for me, and then I got nothing till Denard Span, but that worked.
It's right. It was good.
That was good.
All right, so I got also kind of creative this week, and also put together a nice little slideshow about. I'm going to have like a few pictures up on each slide. I'll tell who's on each slide. And you have to tell me what these players have in common.
This is going to be hard.
Okay.
I like it.
Jesus.
There are some hard ones in here, so I'll try to help you through it. So here we go. What do these players have in common? Babe Ruth, Bryce Harper, Eric Chavez, and Harold Baines. What do they have in common?
Do they all win MVPs?
Nope. I mean, they might have, but that's not what I was thinking.
Well, I think they have that in common. I don't know if Al Baines won an MVP though.
Did Eric Chavez win an MVP?
Eric Chavez, I think, actually maybe won Rookie of the Year. I don't know if he won MVP.
Yeah, I think he won Rookie of the Year because Tejada got an MVP right when they were
right. So I think it was actually Rookie of the Year.
This has something about what they're wearing.
They wore shoes.
Oh shit! They're all number 3s.
They are all number 3.
They're all number 3s. They're all number 3s.
Oh yeah, good call.
They're all
Yep.
wearing number 3s. Yeah.
They're all
Jeez.
currently number 3. All right. Well,
I thought they all
baby-
had shoes on. I mean, I am right. So I'll take that one.
Goodness
They're all wearing
gracious.
shoes. You're right. They're all wearing shoes.
they're actually cleats, but that's fine. All right.
I mean, did Babe Ruth really have cleats? Did they have cleats back in those days?
Probably just nails sticking out of the
I
soles
was
of their
going to
shoes.
say they were shoes they put nails through.
All right, here we go. Next one. It is JD Martinez, Scooter Jeanette, Josh Hamilton, and Carlos Delgado. What do these 4 have in common? It has something to do with a single game accomplishment.
You got it. You got it, Sean. You were smiling.
I
What do you
do. Yeah. No, I do. These were because Scooter did it like 2 years ago. These are the last 2 that hit the last 4 that hit 4 homers in a game.
Yes, the last 4 players to hit 4 homers in a game is the common theme.
Yeah,
there.
the one that got me to be like, oh yeah, was Scooter. Then I'm like,
Was
oh, yeah,
Scooter
okay.
because he
Now I
did.
know what
He
it-
was the
now I
most
know what we got.
random guy ever to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was like completely
Yeah.
unexpected.
All right, here we go. Roger Clemens, Blake Snell, Max Scherzer, Roy Halladay, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, and Gaylord Perry.
I mean, they all won Cy Youngs.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
In both leagues.
I need in both leagues.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Both leagues.
Yes.
Yep.
7 players to get a Cy Young award in both leagues. That's what they had in common there. All right. This one is really, really tough. This is probably the toughest one I have on here. We have Oscar Gonzalez, Colton Wong, Chris Burke, and Alfonso Soriano. Now, to give you a
Fuck is Chris
clue
Burke?
on this one, I don't know.
I was just gonna say,
Who is
wow,
Chris Burke?
we're really digging for this one.
I'm
So-
literally Googling Chris Burke right now. And
All right.
I'll be honest with you. When I Google Chris Burke, the first thing that comes up is Chris Burke, actor, like white guy. Like, no, Chris Burke, baseball.
Yeah.
Who is Chris Burke?
All right. So think 2 years ago with Oscar Gonzalez, what did he do against the Tampa Bay Rays for the Guardians? It was an extra innings towards the end of the season.
Walk-off grand slam.
It wasn't a walk-off grand slam. It was a walk-off, but when in his
Walk-off home
career
run?
did he do it? Yeah, walk-off home run, but when in his career did he do it?
First game.
No. Yeah, I mean,
As a rookie?
As a rookie. So
Rookie.
these 4 hit walk-off postseason home runs as a rookie.
Oh damn.
So rookies to hit postseason
And who
walk-off home
was
runs.
so it was Colton Wong, Soriano, some guy in Houston, and
Oscar Gonzalez.
Oscar Gonzalez. Who's
Yeah.
Chris Burke? You guys can't tell me you know who Chris Burke is.
No.
I had no
clue.
idea. I had to look him up for sure.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's a tough one.
So we thank you for Chris Burke for making this slideshow, but no one knows
Yeah.
who you are.
I kind of- and I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Rookies
All right.
postseason walk.
We appreciate your achievement. We have no idea who you are.
Yes. No, it's well done. I couldn't do it. I didn't do it.
Okay. Chris Sale, Sandy Koufax, Max Scherzer. And I'll give you
White
this
guy.
hint too. Yes. I'll give you this hint. It is a single inning accomplishment.
Immaculate.
Yes.
Multiple
I'll-
immaculate.
I'll give it to you. Yes. Only pitchers to achieve an immaculate inning 3 times in their
So
careers.
three immaculate. 3 immaculates. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Okay.
And
this
this
one.
was it. Two out of the 3 were lefties, huh?
Yes.
Is that? Did I see that right? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because Scherzer was the third.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
Oh, Matt Stairs. I love anything with Matt Stairs in it.
Okay. So we have Edwin Jackson, Octavio Dotel, Rich Hill, Mike Morgan, Matt Stairs, and the Nationals guy down there in the corner's name is Ron Vallone. What do these 6 guys have in common?
All played into their 40s.
Ron Vallone.
It's a good guess. Ron Vallone, yes. It's a good guess, but not what I'm looking
the
for
hell is-
there.
What is a Ron Valone?
He's a lefty pitcher that wears 41 for the Nationals. Think about Rich Hill here. What was he known for pretty much like last year? It was a big story when he came out.
Playing for the whole league.
Yes, you're on the right track.
So they've played for a bunch of teams. All these guys have played for a bunch of teams.
Yeah, these are the players to have played for the most teams. And here's the list. Edwin Jackson, 14 teams.
First off, that's crazy. 14 teams?
Yeah. And he was good too. That's a scary part. Just get bouncing around.
That's half the league.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Octavio Dotel and Rich Hill both had 13, and then Mike Morgan, Matt Stairs, and Ron Valone had 12.
I still love Chris Bermans with Octavio Dotel.
Can you? Oh my God! Can you hit back one? Is Mike Morgan the Diamondbacks guy?
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Mike Morgan.
I saw him mostly. He was in Chicago for a while, like
he was
a couple years with like Sammy Sosa, Mark Grace, and all of them. So I saw him quite a bit. But,
gotcha. Octavio Dotel was on a new team every freaking season.
All the time. And every new team he had like a new delivery.
Yeah, and always. And then Matt Stairs was like every year changed. he was like Nelson Cruz. Every year he had a new home that just needed somebody who could hit some home runs.
Yeah, and he pinch hit almost everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But yet in my head he's always Philly.
I remember with the Red Sox.
Oh, see, to me, he could play for 13 different teams. If you tell me Matt Stairs, I think road gray Philadelphia Phillies, in the picture. Road gray Phillies uniforms. That's how I picture Matt Stairs.
He probably had his most success in Philly.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. But,
yeah,
played for the most teams.
That's amazing.
All right. Albert Pujols, Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken Jr., and Robin Yount. The clue to this one, what's your guess?
It's got to be games played.
It's not games played.
Oh.
Is it MV?
No. This has to do
I was gonna say no, because what position, what primary position was Eddie Murray? What would you have put him as a primary position?
First base.
So infield players to win MVP?
No. Good guess. This has to do with productive outs.
Oh, sack flies?
Yes. These are your 4 leaders in sacrifice flies. Eddie Murray with 100.
Except asterisk. Ruben Sierra has 500.
I was going to say, except for boy Ruben Sierra.
All he did was get sack flies in my head.
He just missed the cutoff here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eddie Murray with 128, Cal Ripken Jr. with 127, and Pujols and Yount with 123.
A lot of sack flies, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot of productive outs.
All right, so there's a massive clue in this one, but we got Mark Canha, Anthony Rizzo, Jose Abreu, and Starling Marte.
It's got to be HBPs, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's what? It's not just. It is HBPs.
Active players.
Active players.
Active. They're all active. Yeah.
Active leaders in HBP.
213 for Rizzo. That's a lot of HBPs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude stands on the plate, bro.
Oh, he does, and he doesn't move.
The dude stands on the plate.
Yeah.
And he's got his arms out.
So does Jose Abreu. He's right on top of it, too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Starling Marte, I mean,
Mark Canha's he's got an asshole face, so the people just want to throw at him. So I get that.
A hittable face.
I get that. Yeah, he's got a hittable face.
The thing that shocks me with Starling Marte is he was out for a year and a half with PEDs.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's true.
He was trying to bulk up, take all the HBPs.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
Anthony Rizzo with 213, Starling Marte with 154, Mark Canha with 125, and Jose Abreu with 123 are your active leaders and hit by pitch.
That's a painful way to get on base.
It works.
Although Rizzo takes most of his off of his friggin' gear.
Elbow pad,
yeah. Doesn't hurt that bad.
Yeah. All right. The last one I have, we have Frank Thomas, Jeff Samardzija,
in the bag.
Brian Jordan.
Yes.
Todd Helton and Darren Erstad.
They've got to all be college 2-sport athletes. They got to be. Because Frank Thomas played tight end at Auburn. Yep. Jeff Samardzija was a wide receiver at Notre Dame. Todd
Jordan
Helton
played for the Falcons.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Brian Jordan played for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So it's definitely, it's got to all be Division I college 2-sport athletes. It's got to be.
Yeah, so what was their second sport?
Football.
Yes.
Well, football.
Yeah.
Football. Okay.
So Todd Helton started in front of Peyton Manning at Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah.
And then Darren Erstad was a punter for Nebraska.
No kidding.
So,
Oh, of course. He's such a punter name. Darren Erstad with an I is such a punter's name.
Oh my goodness,
right?
Wicked.
Yeah. So
and only if the eyes got like a little heart as the dot on top of it.
Yeah. So players to play Division I football.
Let's see, when did he play? He might have played when Nebraska was nasty.
He probably did.
Yeah.
When did he play?
I remember
Nebraska used to be a powerhouse.
He was so good.
Yeah.
And he threw gas.
Dude, they had Jeff Samardzija was in the conversation for Heisman.
Oh yeah.
He was
when he was at Notre Dame. Like he was the best wide receiver in college football.
Can you imagine being a top wide receiver in college football and throwing it like 100 miles an hour and having to pick which one you go into?
And having that sweet hair. He had the best hair in the league.
He had the best moss ever. Dennis Eckersley loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah. That was a cool one.
Yeah. So
Brian Jordan played for the Falcons.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
Frank Thomas, Auburn tight end, Samardzija, Notre Dame wide receiver. Brian Jordan went to University of Richmond as a safety. Todd Helton, Tennessee quarterback, and Darren Erstad, Nebraska punter.
Frank Thomas was a gigantic human being.
Yeah.
I'll never forget seeing him for the first time at Fenway. I had seats like 4 rows off. They were corporate seats. That looked like a Buick stood up and walked to the plate. That dude was massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
So
his arms were as big as I was at 12.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of fun to put together too. Just a little bit extra.
That's
there.
So cool.
So, yeah.
So 1995 was Darren Erstad's last year at Nebraska. 1995 Nebraska football team, they scored 53.2 points per game. So I don't think he punted much.
You never saw the field.
1995. I don't think he did much there. He was their punter.
He was an extension of the cheerleading squad.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he didn't do much for Nebraska in 1995. That's crazy. Number one team in the country, 12-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nebraska in the 90s they were
so
gross.
Good. Dominant. Mm-hmm. They just ran the ball down your throats.
Yep.
Yeah. All the time.
They printed running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So, yeah.
But
not punters.
Yeah. Not punters.
They didn't print punters.
The punter was a position you had to fill out, but you never used.
Yeah, they typically send their punters to Major League Baseball. That's what Nebraska did.
That makes sense. The clearest path forward for Nebraska punter is baseball.
Yes, that's right.
They're like, we didn't even recruit one, so they just line up the other sports teams, and they're like, here's football, kick it.
Yeah, we got this guy over here that stands on the sidelines every weekend. We don't know who he is, but we've never used him.
Right. So, yeah.
Jesus.
All right.
Cool, Nick.
Yeah, well, thank you. I might off season, we're going to have some slow news. We're going to get into the next two guys here to wrap up the show, but I have some more blurred trivia for next week already set up, ready to go, because I just went nuts this weekend. And then maybe I'll put some more, what do these players have in common? So those are fun. So
yeah, it was fun.
All right. Let's get into Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery here to end the show. Blake Snell is rumored to be down to Mets, Red Sox, Yankees. And then Harrison, you just said it's just down to the Yankees and Red Sox
Yankees, based on SI's reporting a few hours ago. I don't know who to believe anymore.
Yeah. So congratulations to the Yankees. You're going to get Blake Snell. The Red Sox aren't going to sign him. I will be utterly shocked if the Red Sox sign him.
The rumor is the Yankees actually walked away from Snell because he wants too much and too many years.
Do you know who else will be shocked if the Red Sox sign Blake Snell? Is John Henry. John Henry Blake Snell. Weird. No idea.
Yeah, no, it's true though. I think that would blow the mind of ownership to be like, wait, we signed a guy? Like what the hell did Breslow do? But anyways, the rumor was that Snell wanted too much money over too many years. And then there's another story that came out that apparently he's now considering maybe taking a shorter term deal, higher annual value to try to get what he's looking for. So who knows? But 1 minute he's going to the Dodgers and Giants, next minute he's going to the Yankees or Red Sox. I don't know. The reporting on it's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we didn't sign Blake Snell. We signed Snake Bell, John Henry. So it's not.
We got him out of retirement.
Yeah, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, would I love him to come to Boston? Yeah, absolutely. But Sean, go ahead and get into it, because you said before the show, before we got on, that it would just confuse Red Sox Nation even more if we sign Blake Snell, right?
If you sign Blake Snell now, it means you're competing. It means at least you're trying to compete.
Right.
And if you're trying to compete, why did we wait so long to get involved in free agency?
Yep.
Right? Like, it's just a confusing.
Yep. It makes no sense.
It's a confusing thing. As a Red Sox fan, do I want to watch Blake Snell on my team pitch every 5 days? Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But
for 5 1/3.
do I want to watch them waste him pitching every 5 days? I don't like. What's the point? Like,
Right.
And I'm not saying don't sign him. I'm just saying I just think the overall thing is, if you're going to sign him on January 15th, why are we waiting until January 15th to get involved in free agency? Why are we waiting this long to get involved into bringing all-star top-end talent to a team that should be bringing all-star top-end talent year after year?
I think their argument to back that up was to be like, well, we were in on everybody. This is just the only one that we capitalized on. That could be their
I mean,
I agree with you, but I'm just saying
miss me with the interest kings bullshit. This has been like 3 years in a row where like Sox have interest. It's like you're the interest kings and you sign nobody. It's like miss me with the interest. Like, I don't care about who you're interested in. I care about who you sign.
Yep, I agree. But that's what I'm just saying. That's the excuse they're going to use.
And I get it. But I'm just saying, like, and then what are we going to do? And then this is what we do. They just tickle your dick a little bit when they sign Blake Snell. And then we still end up winning 82 games a year. We're a 500 team. And then Blake Snell ends up a year and a half from now. He gets traded away, right? Because Blake Snell's really good. And now we have other teams that want a guy like Blake Snell. So then we waste all that money. We sign him. And then we trade him away in a year and a half. And now we get back prospects.
And I like the farm system.
Because prospects matter. They do. But at a certain point, we just start putting talent on the field at the major league level that's going to win baseball games.
Yep.
And if you're not, if all you care about is the minor leagues, then I'm not here for that.
Right. I agree.
You are the Boston Red Sox. You're not the Kansas City Royals or the Cleveland Guardians. This is Boston. Like you're in one of the top 5 markets in the entire country. Which means you got money to spend. Start spending it.
Yep.
But we've said this in the text chain off the air. Like I think it's so evident and obvious that they are setting this roster up to be sold, like for the organization to be sold.
I mean, the Red Sox were one of the 3 most profitable teams in baseball last year. They're not investing in the team; they're taking the money.
Right. They're turning this into, if you buy this team, you're taking on no debt. Like, go ahead, buy this team.
Right.
Like, we're going to sell it to you. We're going to sell it to you for $1.5 billion, and you get you don't have to take on any debt when you buy this team. There's no big contracts. There's no, down the road stuff you future owners are going to have to deal with. And I guess I get it. It just, let's just get it over with then.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
they're going to do it.
Yeah, they're running this right now to make money from it, to take that money and plow it into other things, and then at some point they'll probably dump this thing, take the big fat check, and they're right now they're in the middle of trying to buy the PGA Tour. Like the Red Sox mean nothing to them anymore. They've got their soccer team, their racing club, or now they're trying to buy the PGA Tour. Like they don't. The Red Sox are just the Red Sox are an ATM that helps them fund other stuff.
Yep, they get the Penguins.
Oh, I forgot about the Penguins. Yeah, you're right.
Goodness.
Which was weird. So I was on ESPN Plus and I put out Penguins game on the other night. And because the Penguins are now owned by Fenway Sports Group, it has the exact same score bug in the top of the TV that Nesson has for the Bruins.
Oh, weird.
And dude, I had a few beers. I thought I was watching the Bruins for like 5 minutes. I was like, wait, I didn't think the Bruins were playing tonight. Like,
colors aren't that far off.
Like, well, they're not. And that's why. So I was like, I didn't think the Bruins were playing. And I was watching the
where
game,
am I?
And I had like some other things going on. I'm like, I was hearing these names and I'm like, oh, this isn't the Bruins, it's the Penguins. But it was weird because like the score bug at the top of the screen was the exact same. It was weird.
Crazy.
That is funny.
All right. And then Jordan Montgomery. All indications is he wants to stay in Texas.
Did you
Why
see
wouldn't
the barbecue place?
No.
There's a barbecue restaurant in Texas that came out and has offered Jordan Montgomery free barbecue for life if he comes back to the Rangers.
Oh, I'd do that with no contract. I'd be like, that's my contract. Free barbecue for life. Like,
I'm in.
That's my contract.
Free Texas barbecue for life? I mean, I'll be down there ASAP.
For the money I've made already? Like, whatever, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess Montgomery's not finding the market he hoped to find, and he and the Rangers have picked conversations back up. And it sounds like the Rangers want him, and he wants to be there. He just wanted to see what was out there first, and he's not finding there to be as much out there as he hoped.
Well, and maybe that's the issue with Snell too. Is like if he's looking for the similar money as Blake Snell, as he should. I mean, maybe not quite as much as Blake Snell, but he's still top of the rotation arm.
Yes, he's an ace on a lot of teams.
Maybe there isn't a market for a Cy Young type top tier pitcher out there. I mean, I can't imagine that, but
what a sentence. Maybe there's no market for a lefty Cy Young top of the rotation. Yeah, what a weird.
We don't want a lefty Cy Young. We want the righties that suck. Don't give us the lefty Cy Young candidates.
But because it's too much, maybe, and maybe that's why the market isn't there. They just don't want to pay for that.
And I think last year we saw the market go really weird with these crazy long contracts and all that stuff. I don't feel like that market's here this year. A lot of these teams have made huge commitments. They don't have the ability to go 6, 7, 8 years. And with a pitcher, probably don't want to.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like running backs in the NFL. Like, you don't want to give these guys these huge long contracts anymore because so many of them are down every few years with a big injury. So maybe there's just not the confidence that he's going to hold up.
And most of these organizations are building their rosters for just give me guys that can give me 5 innings, and I'm just going to back into the bullpen. The bullpen's my most important asset.
Yeah, I'll just stockpile 100-mile-per-hour guys.
Just give me starters that can get me to the bullpen, and then I'm going to build my lineup to get me get me runs when I need runs. Like I don't need Roger Clemens to go 9 innings. I don't need Walter Johnson to shut out the New York Giants 3 times in 4 days. That's not what I'm looking for.
I mean, Blake's still in the Cy Young, averaging 5 1/3 innings per start. I mean,
I'm not going to pay a premium for a guy like that when I can get a lot of inning eaters that have an ERA that's maybe a run higher, but that doesn't really matter because the back of my bullpen is so gross that if my starter gives up 5, it doesn't really matter because my bullpen's not giving up anything.
Right, and my offense will score enough to get by.
It's just a different way of building it.
Yeah,
I think these guys are kind of missing out.
Yeah, I feel like the value in those pitchers is really only in that top 1%, top 1 to 5%. Like those guys that are like the Garrett Coles of the world, like those guys get that kind of contract. Everybody else just kind of falls into a bucket of I can find him. I mean, look what the Braves are doing. The Braves are just stockpiling arms. We got 7 starters. We'll figure out which 5 you are going to start. We'll throw 2 of you guys in the bullpen. We don't care. I just don't think there's as much value in those top of the rotation guys because there's a lot of guys out there that are good enough to win at this level. And if you can score enough runs and hold a lead, you'll be fine.
Right. And there are
teams I think that's where baseball's going.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Baseball's not going to the.
Yeah, you're not going to see a bunch of guys with sub-3 ERAs like you used to. Like that's not the game anymore.
But like the guys looking for that money can only go to the top tier teams as well. Right. You know what I mean? Like the Rockies aren't going to go in and offer Blake Snell 8 years, $325 million. They're just not going to do it.
Awesome if they did. I would love to see my Rockies pull that off.
Like Chris Bryant, like that signing was kind of like out of the blue.
They've done nothing since.
Right. But that's it. Like they spent their big money for 10 years on Chris Bryant, and that's that.
Imagine blowing your wad on Chris Bryant. And then that's it.
We signed Chris Bryant. We're done for the next 7 years, guys.
Years ago. They signed him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been years.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I mean. Like those teams can really only afford like one big ticket free agent. Then they're done for 5 or 6 years.
No, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Chris Bryant of his -1 WAR last year.
Oh
goodness! In a hitter-friendly park.
Yeah, hitting 233.
Yeah. So
I mean, you got to be on the field to hit. So I guess there's that too.
True.
I mean, here's the irony: he's been there for 2 years. He's played 120 total games.
Is that right? He's only played 120 games.
He's been
he
out
played
a bunch.
42 in 2022, and he played 80 last year. Like he's only played 122 games in 2 seasons.
That is not great.
No, that's not. Those are not good numbers.
No.
Not great.
So yeah, those two guys will be interesting here coming up. And I mean, we're 4 weeks out of spring training now, or pitchers and catchers at least. So they got to be finding a home here soon. But if my guess right now is Monty stays in Texas, and I'll say Snell goes to the Yankees. That's kind of where I'm going right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. I mean, I think Monty stays in with the Rangers, and I think that Snell goes. I thought Snell would end up with the Dodgers or Giants out on the West Coast, but I could see him in New York.
I'll say Snell, New York, but to the Mets. I'll say, even though last year was a disaster for the ownership front office for the Mets, Cohen still gets off on spending money. That's just what he does,
because he's a fan.
Spending money.
He's a fan that owns the team,
and he is really yet to spend money in the offseason. I could
they've
see,
been quiet.
I could see us waking up tomorrow and it'd be like Blake Snell, $1 billion to the Mets. It's what is going on? What are we doing? And it's he just gets off on spending money. So I could see the Mets just throwing stupid money in him.
Yeah, fair,
totally.
So yeah. I'll say Mets just to make it fun.
Nice. All right. Do any of you guys have anything else for this week?
I mean, the big news around baseball was all of the international signings today. So, check MLB.com, check your team, see who they signed. Yeah. Another Vlad Jr.'s half brother got signed. There's a bunch of, major league tie type people that signed, but that's really the big news of the week was all the international pool stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, it was really quiet again.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, just like those couple free agent signings at the beginning of the week, and then it was all the arbitration deals. But
I mean, we're a month away from pitchers and catchers reporting.
It's crazy.
We got 4 weeks to get this all sorted out, and for these guys to have home, so they've got somewhere to report to.
Yeah. So gonna be nuts. But all right. So we will be back on next Monday at 8 p.m. With probably some more trivia, hopefully some free agent news and moves, and see the Red Sox still do nothing. So we will talk about all of that stuff next week at 8. But before you go, make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook. You can also subscribe on YouTube. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also commentate on our reels, share our reels, like our reels. We really love the interaction, so keep it coming. Thanks for all the support, and we will see all of you next Monday at 8 p.m.
See ya.